When I'm on a cruise, I love talking with the staff on board, and that's something that I've really missed during this past year. So if I can't talk to them on the ship, we'll do it right here on the Cruise World's Cruise Conversations. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cruise World's Cruise Conversations, and today we have a very special guest with us. It's Lucy from the Cruising as Crew channel, where she shares her experiences of living and working on board a cruise ship. So without further ado, let's welcome in Lucy.
Hi Lucy, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you, Mark?
Very good. Want to thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to say hello to us. So can you tell us a little bit about Lucy? Where are you from? What are your hobbies? Do you have any pets?
So I am from Birmingham in the UK. It used to be the second largest city in the UK. I'm not sure if it still is. Hobbies. I've recently taken up roller skating. I'm absolutely hideous at it, really bad, but hopefully I will get better. I haven't actually gotten off the grass yet, but you know, we'll get there. And what else? I just like being outdoors, so hiking, climbing, anything like that, I'm all about it. And I don't have any pets. I would love a dog, but obviously working on a cruise ship, you can't really have a dog.
Yeah.
So are you rollerblading or roller skating? Are they inline or do they have the four?
They're the quad skates. So I was told that the four skates are, with the four wheels, it's easier. I think someone was lying to me. It's very hard, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got some friends that they roller skated when they were younger, and they recently bought some skates again. And as things start to open back up, they're really hoping to get back out and do that again. But so that is one thing that I don't think is on a cruise ship right now is a roller skating rink. I know we've got ice skating rinks, but no roller skating rinks yet that I'm aware of.
This could be the new thing, Mark. We could have just come up with the new thing that they bring on cruise ships.
Absolutely.
So after watching our channel, a lot of people ask me if I've ever worked on a cruise ship. And though I never have, I have been on a bunch of cruises, obviously. And I often sit and wonder about the day-to-day life of the thousands of people who call the ships home. So I'm excited every time I get to speak to crew members. And one of the questions that I love to ask is, how did your journey as a crew member start? I mean, how did it wind up that Lucy works on a cruise ship?
Well, Lucy really fell into it. I mean, I left school at 16, which is the normal age to leave school in the UK. Had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do, but I ended up going to do a massage therapy qualification, and it just so happened that a woman who worked for the onboard spa. Now, the onboard spa is a company that hire spa staff for cruise ships. They're also known as Steiner. So a lady from that company came into my college and basically did a speech on it, and ever since that day I was like, oh my god, I need to work on cruise ships. That just sounds like the best thing ever. So I finished my qualification, did a few other qualifications, worked in a spa on land. And when the time was right, I applied to Steiner and started my journey on board cruise ships.
Awesome. Now, I know that when the pandemic started, you were transitioning to a position with a new cruise line. How long have you been working in the cruise industry, and how many different ships have you worked on?
So I have been in the cruise industry for about 5 years, and I have worked on 5 different ships. So I've worked on 3 Royal Caribbean ships, Radiance, Legend and Rhapsody, 1 P&O ship, Oceania, and then I recently started on Virgin Voyages.
So you're a massage therapist on board then?
No, so when I was working with Royal Caribbean on those 3 ships, I was a massage therapist working for Steiner. But on board the P&O ship and Virgin Voyages, I am a shop assistant working for Harding Retail.
Okay, can you tell me about your average work day on a cruise ship?
Okay, well, a sea day would start at 10 o'clock in the shops, so it's a quite nice, leisurely start. We would work up until maybe 12, 1 o'clock, have an hour for lunch. And that's when you get the morning rush in the shops, because it's normally before the sun has risen. So everyone wants to look around the shops after breakfast before they go on deck and start sunbathing. Then we would have an hour for lunch, and that's when you rush to eat dinner and you squeeze in a 40-minute nap. And then you go back to work, and we would normally finish our shift at about 10 o'clock in the evening, with a dinner break, of course. So it's quite a long day, but it's a long day for everyone on board when we're at sea. So because you're all in it together, it feels
Right.
normal.
And so when you're in the ports, though, a lot of times, at least I know on the cruise ships that I've been on, a lot of those shops are closed. Is that right?
Oh, yes.
And then, so what do you like to do in your time off or your spare time?
We'll get off and eat. try the local cuisine. I'm quite ashamed to say that is where most of my wages go, on eating out, getting lunch outside. But yeah, no, I'll usually get up as early as I can if I'm not absolutely knackered, and get off and explore the port. So whether that is doing an excursion that the ship offers or organising my own excursion, and like I said, getting some good food.
So one of the things that I think a lot of other people like to do on a cruise is people watch. And working on the ship day in and day out, I can imagine that you've seen your fair share of strange things. What is the weirdest thing you've ever seen a passenger, or a crew member for that matter, do out at sea?
There's so many, Mark, you wouldn't believe. So many. But I think I'm going to have to bring it back to window licking. So I was when I was working in a shop, my perfume shop, there was a guy who had been in a few times, and we chatted a few times. He seemed very normal, very nice guy, and I'm sure he was. And this one evening I was cleaning the shelves, and I saw him walking towards the shop. So I was like, oh, he's going to come in for a chat, this will be nice. But he didn't. He came up to the shop windows and vigorously licked them and then walked away. And I have to say, to this day, it was the most bizarre thing that I have ever seen. Not just on ships, but ever.
I bet. So it was a perfume shop, you said? So maybe it just smelled so good that he thought he'd taste it, right?
I really hope that's the reason, yeah.
So now sometimes for me, it's hard to be away from home, even just for a few weeks. I can really start to miss my family and friends. So I can only imagine how it is to be on a cruise ship for months at a time. How do you keep in touch with your family and friends while you're out at sea?
So there is the internet on the cruise ship, which I'm sure you're aware of, and that can be pretty dodgy. But we'll use that. It's normally good enough to send WhatsApps and little messaging. Right. If I want to speak to my family, then the cruise ship also offer phone cards. So I can go to a machine, pay about £10 for a phone card, and that will allow me an hour on the phone, on a phone that's on the ship, to call my family that way, which is really good, especially, if I'm in Australia and I want to call the UK. So, to get an hour on the phone for £10 is really good. Now,
I know that I've had jobs where everything looks glamorous from the outside looking in. And I have to admit, the thought of being on a cruise ship 24/7, cruising around to different tropical or historic places, it seems pretty enticing. And I recently watched one of your videos where you posed the question, are you too old to work on cruise ships? And your final answer was no. So if I were looking to land a gig on a ship, what is the one thing that you would tell me that you wish you would have known before you started working on a ship?
So many things, but I think the one thing would be, you either love or hate it. It really, as you can imagine, it's like Marmite, you love or you hate it. And if you love it, it's very, very addictive. You wake up in a new destination every day. You are surrounded by your friends. It's just an incredible lifestyle. And I really think I'm going to struggle if the day comes where I have to give it up. But yeah, so that's all I would say. It's just incredibly addictive.
Okay, Lucy, this is the part of the program where we step outside the box a little bit to get to know you a little better and have some fun. It's time for the hot seat.
Ooh, okay.
right, Lucy, what's the dumbest way that you've ever been injured?
I fractured my left wrist while playing with my hair on a swing.
What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
I would walk around and tug on people's hair and really freak them out.
If you had to teach a class on one thing, what would you teach?
Life on cruise ships.
When you were a kid, did you have any posters on your wall? And if so, what were they?
Oh, yes. Justin Bieber and Britney Spears all over. And Groovy Chick. Loved Groovy Chick.
Now, see, that must be a UK thing because I'm not even sure what Groovy Chick is.
Oh, yeah, it was a big thing in the UK.
All right, I'm going to Google it.
Last but not least, I have a would you rather question, okay?
Okay.
And this, when I saw this one could be tough. Would you rather never be able to use search engines again or never use smartphone apps again?
Smartphone apps.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, I think. I find myself all the time, and I don't know if you're the same way. You know, if I have a question about anything, I'm hitting that Google. I'm finding it out. But smartphone apps, though handy, I think I need to have the Google. So you agree?
I completely agree. Yeah, would be lost without Google search.
Okay.
So a lot of the major cruise lines have stated publicly that they're going to require all crew to be vaccinated prior to getting on board. And honestly, I think that pretty much all cruise lines are going to go that same route so that they can get passengers back on their ships as soon as possible. And I know that you're looking forward to getting back to work on board, but you have definitely been keeping yourself busy with your YouTube channel during this past year. What can you tell us about your channel, and what are your plans for the channel as you transition back to life on board?
Oh, good question. So my channel is very much aimed at people who want to work on cruise ships, just because when I started my cruise ship career, I got my job with Steiner, so I was using the search engine, Google. I was Googling so many things and trying to find out what life on board was like, and there really wasn't anything. So that's, I thought I'd answer that question because I know there are a lot of people who, are in a similar position to what I was. And my plans for the channel, I just hope to keep making content when I'm on board. I really want to document my experience going back on cruise ships. I know it's going to be difficult because work is going to be really full on. So finding the time to do that as well as making YouTube videos, because as you know, it takes a lot of time. It's going to be difficult. But yeah, I just hope that I can keep up with the schedule and keep posting videos.
Yeah, I know that you post twice a week right now, and I try to as well. And that in and of itself can be a full-time job.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the editing. It is the editing that takes so long, honestly.
Yep.
Lucy, thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to watching your YouTube channel continue to grow as we get back to cruising this year. I've put a link to Lucy's channel, Cruising as Crew, down in the description, so make sure you check that out. Lucy, what other social media platforms can everyone find you on?
I'm on everything as Cruising as Crew. So website, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok as Cruising as Crew.
Awesome. We'll be sure to check those out, and I will add those links down below as well. If you enjoyed the show today, please make sure you hit that like button. And if you have any questions for Lucy or us here at the Cruise World, please make sure you drop them down in the comments below. And remember, life is short. Cruising is fun. We'll see you next time.